Hello, everyone. Looks like we've got a little bit of Secret Service shooting going on right now. We're going to find out more details here. I'm going to go ahead and play this and see if we can keep rolling with it.
In Washington, D.C., one individual was shot by law enforcement. Their condition is currently not known, so please avoid the area as emergency crews are responding. Once again, this breaking news coming in just as Trump was there inside the White House speaking at that small business summit. Taking a look right now at the scene there. This is a live shot coming from Fox 5 DC there. The Associated Press did put out an article saying an individual was shot by law enforcement Monday near the Washington Monument. According to the Secret Service, the person's condition and the circumstances surrounding the shooting around 15th Street and Independence Avenue were not immediately known. Once again, on your screen right now is a live look there at that scene. We do see that there are some police cars there. It looks like far off in the distance there, you can see some of that yellow crime scene tape there. So it does look like a reporter might be stepping into the shot there to get ready for a live hit. So we're going to put this X post there on your screen saying the Secret Service says an individual was shot by law enforcement near the Washington Monument. The White House was briefly locked down there during that event there that President Trump was hosting as he talked about the Small Business Summit as we kick off National Small Business Week. So once again, the Associated Press is saying the Secret Service encouraged people to avoid that area as emergency crews responded to the shooting not far from the White House. Once again, President Donald Trump there was hosting an event, a small business event. The White House briefly locked down as authorities investigated the incident. The Secret Service did usher journalists who were outside into the briefing room, and Trump did continue that event there without operation. Taking another live look there at that scene as we do see some people walking there, not sure if they are officials who might be involved in this investigation there, but we're learning that MPD is on the scene of this investigation at 15th Street and Independence Avenue Southwest. The scene is secure. Officials are, though, saying to avoid that area as the roads are going to be closed for several hours. Additional updates will come as they are confirming information. But once again, on your screen there, a live look coming from Fox 5 DC. We saw the crime scene tape up there. You can see a lot of law enforcement still on the scene there. And it looks like we do see a reporter there maybe getting ready for a potential live hit. Once we do see Fox 5 get on the air with their coverage, we will be dipping into that and bringing you that here. But I'm going to put up this X post there coming from the Secret Service office. Again, we don't know too much yet. This is all breaking news just coming into our newsroom here, but U.S. Secret Service personnel are on the scene of an officer-involved shooting at 15th Street and Independence Avenue in Washington, D.C. One individual shot by law enforcement. Their current condition is not known, but again, officials saying to avoid that area as emergency crews are responding. So we're expecting Fox 5 DC's 5 o'clock coverage to get started here in just a few minutes, and we'll bring that to you as we're hoping to learn some new updates there. But once again, a live look at that scene there in Washington, D.C. What we know is that the shooting happened around 15th Street and Independence Avenue there. And it looks like the camera there is panning. You can see it looks like a pretty big section there is roped off with that yellow crime scene tape. You can see the police cruiser there driving across the grass, headed toward.
It seems like an awful lot of effort for something that they'll end up calling fake, isn't it? So that it's just one of those things that keeps making me wonder, like, come on now. This is real. This is real stuff going on right now. We are definitely going through a mess here.
The other side of this crime scene. Once again, the Associated Press putting this article out not long ago saying an individual shot by law enforcement Monday near the Washington Monument. That's according to the Secret Service. And we're going to put this X post back up on your screen there saying from an AP reporter saying Secret Service says an individual was shot by law enforcement near the Washington Monument. White House was briefly locked down, and this did come as President Trump was just inside the White House there hosting a small business summit at the White House. He was commemorating National Small Business Week and celebrating what he called a Main Street revival. And this news broke while President Trump was hosting that event. And it looks like we do have Fox 5's coverage live. We're going to go to that here. Oh, it looks like they are not quite yet kicking off with this story. So we're gonna stay on this X post there. Once again, we are anticipating their feed to get started in just a few minutes here. As this breaking news is unfolding there in Washington, D.C., we're assuming that they're going to be hitting this right off the top of the show. So once again, we'll be bringing that to you. But what we know right now, an individual shot by law enforcement near the Washington Monument. That's according to the Secret Service. We don't know this person's condition yet. We don't know the circumstances surrounding the shooting. We know the location, though. And it looks like Fox 5 is getting ready to kick off their coverage, so we'll be dipping into that as soon as we see them get started on this story. But again, on your screen right now is an X post coming from the D.C. Police Department saying MPD is on scene of this investigation at 15th Street and Independence Avenue Southwest. The scene is secure, but we're being asked to avoid that area as the roads will be closed for several hours. They do expect additional updates to come as information is confirmed, but law enforcement saying this street might be shut for a little bit. So it looks like Fox 5 DC is kicking off their coverage. Let's take you out to that here on Live Now from Fox.
Can you imagine, like, let's see, what is this? Is this number 10 now? Even if they're just like within the area trying to get at you, can you imagine going through this, 10 times in a year? Just people coming at you. Constant. Regardless of whether or not they're capturing them. Just knowing that, they're out there to grab you. Take you down just because your name's Trump. So it's definitely, how do I say it? Definitely on the edge of your seat thinking about this, because the last thing we want is a decent president to go down, because you know what we're left with.
Yeah, hey there, Marina and Jim. Still large police presence here, still streets and blocks of parkland closed at this hour. And behind me here, this is basically, you'll see here, the intersection of 15th Street and Independence Avenue Southwest. And you see a lot of law enforcement. D.C. police are here, U.S. Park Police, there are not National Guard troops, and U.S. Secret Service, who were the first to report that a law enforcement officer has shot somebody. And in that scrum of police officials with the white shirts, we saw MPD's interim police chief Jeffrey Carroll at one point. Don't see him right now, but you have a lot of law enforcement. And as we're going to pan down here, what we're seeing from our vantage point here, and I don't know if the police tape is blocking it, but there is a backpack and a pair of sneakers that are inside.
You take a look at that and you tell me, does that look like whatever is below the bag here, this rag or shirt? Does that look like there's blood on the bottom of it? Because it kind of looks like that, but then again, everything does trick the eyes sometimes, especially this far away. I noticed that. I was just a little curious what it'll end up being if they can ever get closer.
Smaller perimeter of police tape inside this wider perimeter here, and you've got all the law enforcement official types and investigators standing around that backpack and those sneakers. We're not sure which law enforcement agency the officer who fired the shot at this person, male or female, we don't know. It looks like men's sneakers, but you can't tell for sure. We don't know which law enforcement officer fired the shot, which agency he or she works for, but the U.S. Secret Service was the first to put this out. So a lot of people had figured that it was a uniformed Secret Service police officer who fired the shot, but we have not been able to confirm that. And again, you have D.C. Police, Park Police, and Secret Service out here investigating this. And what the result has been is this is Independence Avenue, a very busy commuter route, basically all day, but especially now at the end of the day. That is closed westward from 14th Street, and then 15th Street, which is kind of looking from your left which would be south. To your right would be north. That's the intersection there of 15th and Independence Avenue, and that is closed. That is a major artery at any time of the day, but especially now. And again, what this was all about, who was shot, we believe the person has been taken to the hospital and has at least survived the initial shooting. But as you mentioned, guys, the White House was briefly on lockdown. There was an event going on, a Donald Trump hosted presidential event with business leaders, and we're told that for a time, and that was outside, that reporters were sent indoors into the White House briefing room. And so whether it was technically a lockdown or not, we're not sure. But the shooting here on the south side of the Washington Monument impacted the White House, which is just to the north of the Washington Monument. And this is still an active scene. And again, you do have National Guard troops that are here helping to maintain the perimeter. And we are not far from the U.S. Holocaust Museum. So not sure if that had anything to do with it, but that's just a block from where this shooting was. That happened at about 3:30, 3:45 this afternoon. And here it is now 5 o'clock, an hour and a half or so later. And the roadways around this area are still blocked off. And you've got a lot of law enforcement here. And where this seems to have happened and what the attention seems to be focused on now, again, the sneakers and the backpack of whoever this person was that are still here on the street, left behind with a lot of police standing around them.
Bob Honor live for us tonight. In the meantime, a federal judge today apologizing to the man charged with trying to kill.
All right, we were just listening in there to Fox 5's coverage there of this officer-involved shooting that we just heard about there coming outside of the White House. Now, a live look at that scene as Fox 5 was just wrapping up that coverage there. We heard the reporter saying the National Guard is helping to secure that scene. It looks like officials were focusing on a backpack that was in that area. We learned this happened around 3:30, 3:45 local time. You can see still a really big law enforcement presence there. The road around that area is still blocked off. We heard the reporter saying that is a relatively busy area. Still a very, very active scene. U.S. Secret Service is on the scene of this officer-involved shooting that is near 15th Street and Independence Avenue there. Authorities say one individual was shot by law enforcement during this incident. I'm going to put this ex-post there up on your screen. The U.S. Secret Service Office of Communications putting that out there, saying there is going to be a media briefing at 15th and Jefferson shortly. The incident resulted from a confrontation between an armed individual and Secret Service. So that post just came in moments ago. Of course, we are going to be keeping an eye out for any feeds that we get of this press conference, and we will be bringing that to you as soon as possible.
I think we'll just continue on here. There's something just as interesting right here. See what we've got on this one now.
All right, it looks like that press conference there is getting started on that shooting in D.C. Let's go to that.
United States Secret Service Police. Approximately 3:30 this afternoon, our plainclothes officers and agents that consistently patrol the outer perimeter of the White House complex identified a suspicious individual that appeared to have a firearm. They called in support from our marked uniformed Secret Service police to make contact with that individual. Upon making contact, that individual fled briefly on foot, withdrew a firearm, and fired in the direction of our agents and officers. They returned fire and engaged. That individual was hit. He's since been transported to the hospital. I have no comments on his condition. I can tell you that at least one, we believe only one bystander was hit by the suspect. That individual, it's a juvenile, did not sustain any life-threatening injuries, but he's also receiving treatment at the hospital. I'll point out that not long before this shooting occurred, the Vice President's motorcade did transit through this area. The investigation itself, in terms of use of force in the shooting, will be conducted by Metropolitan Police Department. I'll pause there.
Matthew, do we know how your guys identified this person as being suspicious? Was he on a radar or just how he appeared?
No, my understanding is they observed a print, we would call it, visual print of a firearm. These are trained surveillance detection personnel out there looking every day to look for just that. Not far from the White House complex, and they observed a visual print of a firearm.
Did he attack the motorcade in any way? Did he approach it with any menace?
No, not to my knowledge.
Was there any other reason to believe he was suspicious beyond just having a firearm?
That's enough for me.
Well, that's a
And do
dumb
we know
question.
if the child who was
What the
struck
hell's wrong
was
with these
definitely struck by
reporters?
the shooter, or by accident, perhaps by the officer?
I can't say, and we'll let the doctors figure that out, but everything I've seen leads me to believe, and the investigators believe, he was struck by the suspect.
So, Mr. Quinn, this man was spotted near the White House, but not on the property.
Correct.
Here we go. Oh, he was in the neighborhood. Well, the neighborhood's, more than just the bars around the White House. Come on, man. We're in the middle of a war here. We've been in the middle of a war for years. Any threat on a president's life is going to take notice. We're just not used to that anymore, I guess, or whatever they're trying to frame on these questionings. Was there anything other than a firearm? Was he in the neighborhood? Well, obviously, you crackheads. I don't know.
Not on the property. We're not far. We are, just real quick, we're not far at all. You have been here from where this incident took place.
Can you tell us exactly where he was spotted? Not here. It was.
I can't say exactly, but they had been following him for a brief period of time before uniformed police engaged.
You mentioned he didn't
Let's go one at a time. Go ahead.
Approach the motorcade. Was there any indication that that was his intent?
No, but we will get to the bottom of that.
And
Did
Matthew,
you say anything to the officers?
I'm not at liberty right now until we get for
Was
sure.
there any sort of communication?
Again, I can't say right now.
Was the vice president in the motorcade when it passed before this incident happened?
Yes.
and Matthew, we see a backpack and sneakers there. Are those the suspects or are those the kids?
I'm not sure. The backpack you probably see is our first aid trauma kit that our officers providing life care after shooting the suspect.
Do you have an age on the child that was struck? Is it male or female?
I can just tell you right now that it's a juvenile.
And so do two more questions, guys.
The other attempts on President Trump's life?
I'm sorry, say again?
Do you believe this is related potentially to the other recent attempts on Trump's life?
I can't say. I'm not going to guess on that. I can tell you that every time, one, we're patrolling this area and every site we do 24/7 hardcore. Whether or not it was directed to the president or not, I don't know, but we will find out.
Weapon recovered?
Yes.
And
Can
Matthew,
you tell us what it was?
I'm going to hold on that.
and Matthew,
I'm sorry, real quick, this lady.
Do we have an age on the man who was shot and taken to the hospital by the Secret Service?
I don't know specifically, so I'm going to not tell you. An adult male.
and Matthew, can you just confirm it was not a uniformed Secret Service officer, but a plainclothes, and was it a male officer? Or
That-
agent, male agent
That first
that fired the shot.
No, I can confirm with you it was uniformed Secret Service police officers that engaged the suspect.
But it was a plainclothes who made the first visual.
Yes, sir.
Deputy, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's it, everybody, on the Secret Service shooting. I'll go ahead and end it here, and then we'll get a better take on it once we find out more information. Be sure to subscribe so that way you get a notification when I upload a new point of interest on this situation or other interests that you might like. Thanks a lot.